Hello, welcome to another edition of Cambridge Uncovered. I'm Frank Morris, coordinator of NeighborMedia, the citizen journalism program here at Cambridge Community Television. Today we're going to be talking about startups here in Cambridge. Cambridge is an incubator for innovation with Kendall Square, Central Square, Harvard Square. We have a lot of ideas and a lot of startups here in Cambridge. We've got a couple guests today. Our first one joining me right now is Andrew Vassallo. He's the general manager of FundLatinos.com. Andrew, welcome to the show. And also one of FundLatino users, Diana Cardona. Welcome to the show as well.
Thank you.
And you are the co-founder of Chocolaffee. And we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
Andrew, you're a business guy. You're a general manager of a startup. What's a startup?
That's a pretty broad question, but so a startup is an early stage company that tries to bring a new idea to market. Startups can reinvent the wheel, or they can, invent, the next version of something. I think with FundLatinos, we are a next generation crowdfunding platform. So we're taking a idea that has existed before and sort of changing it and reshaping it and trying to bring it to market. In terms of what a startup is, it can be really anything. Deanna is a good example of a startup, and she's a storefront and a commerce business. We're an internet business.
Yeah, I think that's so important. A lot of people have also asked me, well, you're doing a show about startups. Does it have to be technology based? What about these small business owners? Are they startups too? And that's a good question. And I guess that answers it. Deanna's a startup as much as a technology based firm is as well. So talk to me a little bit about FundLatinos. It sounds like perhaps what it is, almost like a GoFundMe page for Latinos looking to start or looking to do something.
Sure. Yeah. So FundLatinos is a crowdfunding platform for the Latino community. We work with both individuals and organizations and businesses to help raise money for specific goals. And we think that by connecting you with your community in a grassroots way, where we connect your campaign and your goal with specific organizations that care about you, like different community groups and churches and other organizations within the Latino community, we can do a much better job of sort of amplifying your campaign beyond traditional crowdfunding methods like some of the other sites out there. So FundLatinos is a crowdfunding platform for the Latino community where we try to get people together behind causes and spread the word more effectively through community.
Great. Now, I was looking through your website, and it looks like you've got kind of 6 different avenues, venues or ways that people can participate. What are these ways? I saw one for quinceañera. What are some others?
Sure. So you can raise money for anything. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of sort of groups of causes. So for individuals, you can raise money for your business or your startup, for example, and that's what Deanna is doing with Chocolaffee, which she'll tell you about. You can raise money for if you have a friend who's in need of a medical treatment, or if you have a community need, someone in your community in the church community might need help with something at home. You can raise money for education costs. You can raise money for a quinceañera. You can raise money for any celebration or challenge in your life that you might need help from the community.
Great. Let's pause a moment. What I want to do is take a look at a video showing how to use the FundLatino website.
Welcome to FundLatinos, the community that helps Latinos fundraise. Let me show you how it works. First, we sign up with Facebook. Then, how much are you trying to raise? $200 for your child's school supplies? $300 for car repairs? Or maybe $500 to help fix your church's leaky roof? No amount is too small. Also, by when do you need it by? And don't forget to give your campaign an attention-grabbing title. Next, you want to show your donors what your cause is about. You can either pick a picture or a video, or both. After that, you have the opportunity to describe your campaign to donors. Give them the details. Let them know what your cause is about. It will always help. Don't forget to sign up for WePay to get your donations quick and easy. And then you're ready to share, either through Facebook, Twitter, email, or copy and paste the link. Sharing your campaign with family and friends is the best way to get donations for your cause. And don't forget, FundLatinos is here to help.
All right, that looks pretty easy to use. And Deanna, you've been using FundLatinos.com. Tell me a little bit about your experience.
Well, in the beginning, I thought it was a little complicated, but no, it's actually very easy to navigate. And since we started, we kind of found that a lot of our fellows in the community, the Latin community, since some of them knows the product because we've been with the Money Nuts for about 2 years, and now we trying to open the front store, and they feel like they can trust a website that they can donate securely, because there's a lot of websites out there that maybe they're not very trustful, or as a Latin community, sometimes you don't use the internet as much as other people, but now everybody's starting to get into the technology, and something like that actually makes us feel a little bit more comfortable when it comes to donating and helping somebody that like me.
Great. Now, and it's you and your sister, right, that started the business Chocolaffee. You guys are getting ready to open up your store in Revere.
In Revere.
Yes. And you guys do Chocolaffee and Money Nuts. And,
yes.
Tell folks, and we have some of the examples here.
Yes,
at our,
we actually have Money
team.
Nuts is money is nuts in Spanish. And I come from the city from Colombia that is Manizales, so it's like MANI, and it's called nuts because so we call it like together, like the essence and the recipe from Colombia, but it's made 100% here in the United States. So that's why we call it Money Nuts, and also because the flavor is so good, it can make you nuts. So I kind of use that line to promote, like go nuts with Money Nuts. And we also have some chocolate lollipops and different party favorites for corporate events. We have Tufts University and Roxbury Community College is actually one of the clients that we have for every year events. And we have weddings and quinceañeros as well. They buy from us. And now this is like the moment that we can have like a stable place, because we were in commercial kitchens. And that can be a little bit expensive. And also it limits your time of work because other people use it as well. So this one, it will be like something permanent. It's something that we can just work all the time there and kind of please the community better.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, the campaign that she started on FundLatinos is to help open that storefront.
Exactly.
And so I think FundLatinos works well with entrepreneurs and businesses who have specific needs. The business might already be up and running. In her case, they were already making sales, but now it's getting over the finish line to open a storefront. And other businesses who have really specific needs, for their business to really get it going. I think a platform like FundLatinos, works well.
Great. Deanna, how did you spread the word on your campaign on FundLatinos? How did you spread the word, get people to donate? Tell me about a little bit about
in the
that.
beginning, it was just like word of mouth. We can tell some people, but actually the social media, it works perfectly because we kind of spread the word through the friends and the friends with the other friends. So the I'm just getting into the technology thing and I'm liking it a lot. But it's been working very well, and a lot of people has been sending us messages. They donate something and they send you with that. They give you a nice message. Oh, keep it going, girls, because our company too promotes and helps basketball academy and a soccer club in East Boston for the kids that is free for them. So we kind of, every time they do fundraising or things like that, we kind of help out. So it's like we have a lot of members in the community who are really, really into this.
Great.
And they like the FundLatino. They see the very possibilities for them too, because many of them have different ideas and different projects that they want to do in the future. So this is very good for everyone.
Perfect. Andrew, you guys are located in Harvard Square. This is where your business office is. When did FundLatinos get started?
So we've been around for, I guess, a little bit over 6 months.
Okay.
So we've been live for 6 months. We're local here in Cambridge. We work with a lot of local businesses, but we're also, global. We can, have anyone from anyone that has a U.S. bank account can create a campaign. So the funds need to be directed to a U.S. bank account, but because we're an online platform, anyone can use us. But we do love working with local businesses here in the Boston and broader Massachusetts and New England area.
Okay, great. And Deanna, when are you looking to open up your storefront?
Well, maybe in the next 2 weeks, hopefully, and which is finalizing some permits and some items special that we need to have for the roasting peanut machine, and but we are very excited because we're almost there. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's actually chocolaffee.com.
Chocolaffee.com. So we'll display that on the screen for the folks, and then FundLatinos.com. Very well. Anything else that you'd like to add, Andrew?
Yeah, so for Deanna's campaign, for Chocolaffee's campaign, you can go to fundlatinos.com/Chocolaffee, and that'll take you directly to their campaign, and you can right from there, share on social media and help them get the funding they need to open that storefront. So I just wanted to share that URL. And we're excited to be working with entrepreneurs, individuals, organizations, anyone that has a campaign or an idea or a need. We're here to help.
Great, and it looks like there's a lot of good campaigns that have gotten their start on Fund Latinos.
Yep.
Definitely. And good luck to you, Deanna, definitely getting ready to open up your storefront very soon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much to FundLatino.com because it gave us a light at the end of the tunnel,
Excellent. Great.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll be taking a look at Custom Made. It's another Cambridge startup, and we'll find out what they do right after this video.
Open Learning Exchange is a social benefit organization designed to help people in the developing parts of the world learn how to learn. That a lot of the schools that we have are not good enough for them to really learn well enough, and so we're working on ways to improve the quality of education in a way that every child in the world can have a good quality education and participate effectively in their society.
Olay it kind of falls at the crossroads of international education. We're focused on early age literacy and learning, and then there is also a component a technology component.
The bell system that we're developing consists of a server and a tablet. And so for every school there's usually one server. And the server is a small little Raspberry Pi computer and a router. It's pretty much like an internet in a box. It has its own internet, has its own web pages, and it sends it out using Wi-Fi to the devices, to the tablets that we also provide to the schools. The students use the tablets and they're able to see the web pages that are on the server. Those web pages are particular pieces of content that their teacher has selected for the students to see. And so at the beginning of every week, teachers usually do a curriculum planning session where they select out which pieces of content they want the kids to use. And then throughout the week, the children then see those pieces of content on the tablets. They go through the content, and the teacher helps them along.
Started in 2007. We've been working steadily since then. Our first program was in Nepal, up in the Himalayan mountain area. And then we had programs in Rwanda, programs in Ghana, in Uganda, Peru, Mexico, and India. So we've had programs in many different places. Each time we start with what is it that people in that country really need. Well, we do a lot of work with people within the country. Our whole approach is, in fact, to help capacity within the country to be developed, so that the Cambridge office here where we work is going to be very much just a support operation for the local organizations in each country that really work.
So Olay begins partnerships with people in other countries through a variety of different ways, but traditionally people come to us and say, I would like to have a project or a program in my country. I see the need for this technology, education overhaul of the system in their country, and they come to us asking for support in pursuing such a program in their country. So when someone comes to Olay, we can give them we can provide them with a variety of services to begin a partnership.
At the beginning of the programs that we do, we usually spend about a week with the teachers, and where we get to play with all the technology. We demonstrate a classroom of like how it can go, and especially the process of the curriculum planning at the beginning of the week is the part where the teacher needs to get really good at, and we've actually had some pretty good success with the teachers catching on quite quickly. So the harder part is to make something that people is actually going to improve their lives. And so it's the human aspect of like understanding what it is people need and what it is that they care about, what it is that is going to help them scale themselves to become better. The technology that we're developing the idea is to allow the teacher to go from a teacher who cares and a teacher who's a great teacher to become an even better teacher, to be able to scale that attention that they have to all of the children as much as possible. And so getting that second part is really where the magic is. The first part, it's an issue that we're lucky to live in an age where it's pretty much solved. The second part, we're just discovering how to solve that. And that is to me what our challenge is.
One of the really interesting things about changing education today is that a lot of people think if you just put laptops in the schools, if you just put tablets, if you just make a computer lab, right, that somehow or other that will change things. And what we've learned is you can spend a lot of money on technology and make no difference whatsoever in learning. What's key in learning is to be able to have an adult, a mentor, a coach, somebody who can help you learn how to learn. Good education is not just receiving more information, it's actually doing things. And so in addition to the digital library, we have a camera where you can actually take videos, and we encourage the students to use the camera themselves and to make a video that they can submit to a film festival with other schools. We encourage them, and we almost require them, to write a community newspaper. So they actually write articles, they interview people in the community, write up the articles, and then print out and post that newspaper around their village. We encourage them to do things like a school garden where they can grow some of their own food. So they're doing a lot of things, not simply learning from what somebody else has done, but actually creating things themselves.
So we bring in coaches to work in the classrooms with the students and the teachers as a team to introduce them new and more interactive ways to approach learning and the learning process. So the coaches are working in the classrooms regularly for at least 6 months to reinforce this new way of learning, of action-based learning and project-based learning, as opposed to the standard talk and chalk methods that we've gotten a lot of feedback on, and students say this is boring and I don't learn a lot this way. So the action-based learning has been seen to be much more effective in sticking with the students and enabling them to learn much more effectively.
There are 2 billion children in the world that are school age, 2 billion, all right? And at least a billion of them are not getting a quality education. And what we know is that since we're all connected to each other, particularly in the world today with the internet and everything connecting everybody, that a problem that any one of us has is a problem that we all have, because we're so tightly connected to each other. And so what we've basically said is, we need a world in which every child has a good chance to have a good life and a good start. And that means they need to be able to read, they need to be able to do basic mathematics, and they need to have an understanding of what it's like to live in a society where they have a voice, and they have a sense of power, they have a sense of meaning in their life, and that they're connected with other people. So that's what we decided we would do.
Olay is very committed to transforming education across the globe, and we understand the direct connection between education and poverty alleviation, and we are taking the steps necessary to implement a model in the classroom that can have a huge return on investment 10 years down the road, and we're really excited about where things are going.
Welcome back to Cambridge Uncovered. I'm Frank Morris, and joining me now are Ryan Davis and Ty Wilson from Custom Made. It's a website where you can get furniture and jewelry custom made online. I want to thank you both for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Frank.
Great. So our show today is about startups and Cambridge really being an incubator of innovation. And I want to talk a little bit about your experience here in Cambridge. First of all, how would you define a startup?
I actually usually kind of joke and define a startup as a business that doesn't know how to make money. And that's a little bit of an overstatement, but generally I like to think about it as a startup being sort of like a really big research project for, you've sort of found this idea or concept that you sort of think brings value to people or a business or something, and you're sort of taking that concept and trying to figure out how to sort of structure and mold a system and service around it to actually make it deliver on the idea.
Great, great. Now, Cambridge is a city where we have Kendall Square, Harvard Square, Central Square, a lot of young minds here. How has being in Cambridge really kind of helped, your business?
Yeah, I think Cambridge is a great spot. So I live in Central Square and we work over in Kendall Square, sort of East Cambridge area. And I think there's sort of kind of great transportation. So it's a good meeting point for folks from the suburbs and folks from all over the Boston area. And then it's a great place to find kind of the types of talent that you need. So, we've got some great engineers on our team, design folks, business folks, and just sort of being in the Boston, Cambridge area with with sort of the education and just sort of a thriving young city, it's easy to find the types of folks that you need.
Great, great. Now, Custom Made, I described it as being a website where you can get jewelry and furniture custom made online. Let's watch a video real quick that I think will give you a good idea about what you guys do.
I'm looking for a dining table with a rustic reclaimed wood top and a vintage industrial looking bottom. 40 inches by 72 inches.
An elegant wooden box to store 9 champagne flutes. The photos show the general style that I'm interested
in a weather vane with 4 images on it, each representing a member of our family. The attached photos should give you some frame of reference for what I'm
currently looking for an engagement ring for my girlfriend. She is madly in love with Harry Potter, and I was hoping that you could make a ring
for a simple silver pendant with someone's signature transferred onto it. This is for my fiance, whose dad passed away 5 years ago, and I want something for him to wear.
I lost one of my silver topaz earrings from my graduation, and I want to replace them before anyone notices they're missing. My mom gave them to me, and they're really special.
I met my wife at a drive-in movie right out of high school. We had 3 great kids and were never really apart. She died of breast cancer this year, and I'd like something made to keep her with me for whatever time I have left. I'm thinking maybe a
graduation ring for my daughter, but I can't spend more than $200. I lost my job last year.
My daughter accidentally broke an old family candy dish. Would it be possible to make a piece of jewelry?
My parents are celebrating their 65th anniversary in June.
His mom threw out his childhood stuffed animal, and I would love to recreate it.
My daughter's pet rat passed away, and she is heartbroken.
I have an old door from my childhood. I'm about a year away from retirement.
I've been looking for something like this for so long.
Is this something you could do?
All right, that looks really, really awesome. You guys do a lot of great things. So how long have you all been around?
So Custom Made, we get that question all the time, right? And I think what we like to say is we've been around for a different number of years depending on how you define it. So CustomMade.com was founded in 1996 as a place for folks to get custom furniture made from independent artisans in the US. And then sort of what we consider the founders of Custom Made started it 5 years ago. So they bought the website from this woodworker and incorporated custom jewelry and custom home goods.
Great, great. So tell me a little bit about the success of Custom Made.
Yes, I mean, back in 2011, the site that was purchased was relatively small scale. It had a lot of artisans involved with it, but wasn't really sort of targeted towards sort of bringing people into it that were interested in having something custom made. It was really just a site to sort of trade job leads. And sort of over the course of the past, 6 years, it's been redeveloped to sort of be a starting point for people who want to commission a custom project or have something custom made to find a route to do that sort of easy and effectively.
Great, great. So people literally just go online and they put in a request, or how does it work?
Yeah, so we have, for example, jewelry is sort of a big focus area for us. So if you wanted to get, say, a custom engagement ring designed online, we have information that you can sort of view, educational materials about engagement rings, and then you submit a request form. So we give you some guidance about materials. You can attach photos and describe your idea. And then we have a sort of a staff of experts that will work with you on designing that piece. So if you, this piece, for example, was a customer and she had 3 different engagement ring styles that she really liked. And wanted to incorporate facets of each of them. And so we had a jewelry sketch artist from our team create 3 different concepts for her. She picked the concept that we liked the best. We showed her renderings of what that final piece was going to look like, and then took it through our production process.
Wow. And who makes the furniture and jewelry?
So we have a network of independent artisans, and then we also have an in-house staff of designers and production folks. So kind of depending on the project, we have different levels that sort of we get involved as a company.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the most common request and what's the most unique request that you've seen come across the site?
The common requests are very similar to what Ty sort of just described, of people who find something that they like, but it's not quite perfect. They want to modify it in some way. I mean, that's really like a lot of what the custom business, particularly in furniture, ends up being is, a dining table that somebody really likes the look of something they found, but it doesn't fit their, particular dining room, or they want to have it, shortened or raised or something like that. Unique requests, we could go into some very descriptive details on some of the more unique requests there, but I mean, we've had, a number of different things that are just, that you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, we've had fireplaces that people have built out of trees and put in their house, and the things range from, I mean, rings like this, which hold some hold sentimental value, but on one hand, like, don't look necessarily incredibly unique, to things that you can literally only get through a place like our site.
Oh, great. And in terms of people using the site, are you finding, I mean, you guys are in Cambridge, are we seeing that it's Cambridge residents using the site, or people from all across the world?
So we actually do, in jewelry, we do about 20 to 30% of our sales internationally. So we have a really great presence through organic search. So if you're typing in custom pendants to Google, we rank #1, and we rank even in countries outside the US. So while we have a really nice base in Cambridge that's built from word of mouth of family and friends, we also sort of have some international reach.
Great, great. Now, a big thing with these startups is promotion and trying to get the word out. You said there's some word of mouth. How else are you guys able to market your site?
I mean, we've had a lot of success, as Ty was saying, just through organic search. Basically, I mean, in addition to the categories he mentioned, if you search Google for basically custom anything in furniture or jewelry, you're probably going to find us somewhere in the first 3 results. So that's been the big foundational piece, as I was mentioning earlier, in terms of just sort of drawing people into the business, is that there's really not a lot of solutions out there, a lot of people doing custom work right now because it has a lot of logistical challenges to it. And that's one of the reasons that we've had a lot of success is that there are a lot of people seeking out custom stuff, but there's not really a sort of a centralized place to find it.
And about how many pieces are requested each year?
Oh man, what are we up to now?
Yeah, I mean, we get, I don't know, thousands of pieces requested every week.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's in the hundreds per day.
Wow.
And not every one of those people ends up and completes the project, but we're getting lots of interest all the time, and a peak coming up in a couple weeks before the holidays.
Yeah,
so
definitely. And that you mentioned about you type in custom made, you're going to be one of the top 3 searches, and that's kind of how I found your guys' website.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
That seems to work really well. Well, I want to anything else that you want to add about what the work that you guys are doing?
Yes, I mean, I think right now we're focused, as I was saying earlier, we've done a lot to sort of determine that there's a lot of demand out there for custom. And so I think now and looking towards the future, we're putting a lot of efforts into trying to figure out how to do that as efficiently and effectively as possible. For the past couple of years, we've operated what's sort of termed a marketplace business, where we sort of sit as an intermediary between customers who want something custom and then the makers and artisans that make it. And while that's been really interesting and successful, what we've sort of figured out is that there needs to be sort of a layer in between to sort of massage both sides a little bit and make things go a little bit more smoothly for both sides. And so I think that's where our focus sort of turns into the future is now we've determined there's a demand for custom. Now we just want to make it as easy as possible.
Perfect. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people have sort of the wrong idea about custom. They think that it's out of reach in terms of price, and it's also out of reach in terms of difficulty. And our process is easy to use, and for jewelry, for example, it's the same price or less that you're going to pay walking into a store and buying something. So with a symbolic piece like a wedding band, you can have something that's uniquely made just for you or just your partner, and there's no catch. You can do it custom, and you don't really have to sacrifice.
Great. Ryan, Ty, thanks so much for being on the show today. Yeah. That does it for this edition of Cambridge Uncovered. I want to thank all of my guests for being on. Of course, to watch more episodes of our show, you can log on to neighbormedia.org. From all of us at NeighborMedia and CCTV, hope you have a good night. We'll see you next time.